In the previous video, we discussed about today how we are going to populated by the contact lookup field in the HTML and how we are going to handle the on change of the value. So means which contact we are selected, that contact we are captured, and after that selected contact ID we are passing to the our Apex class. So based on the selected contact ID, we have retrieved by the related cases, and those cases return to the our JavaScript, and we are holding the those result into the particular case result property. Now how we are going to display these case result into the UI. So that purpose I am going to create by the another component, lighting web component. We can display by our list of the records into the another component. So here contact related cases table. So list of the records that we can display by the in the table format. So that's why here I am taking the table format. So here we have to display. So here we have to take it by the one property contact. Sorry, we have written by the cases, right? So here cases or case data. Our wish we can take it by the anything. So here we have taken by the case data. Save. Now, how we are going to display the list of the data? It is held by the list of the data. So, how we are going to display the list of the data here for each, right? In the for each two, we have to display it by the our data. So now here we have to take it by the template. So for each, so in this what we have the our property name. Our property name is the case data. So for item, we have to display by the each item, right? So for item, we have to display to the, so case. So how we are going to display the data? Just here in this, we have to populate it by the mm, only for the case numbers only. We no need to display with any other thing. Just we have to display by the case numbers only. So how we are going to display by the case numbers with the linkable, we have to write so a dot name equals to or key ID. We have to mandatory for the key ID equals to so case dot ID, and here we have to display the data. So here case dot number, case dot number we have to display to the here. So save. Why it is showing an error? So here so here we can take the instead of the case rec, maybe case is that is result keyword. So here case record dot save. Okay, now let's we have to deploy this. Key ID. Otherwise, we have to remove this. So actually, we have to display by the list of the records mandatory for the key, right? So here we have to display by the key equals to. So here case record dot ID. So now save. Mandatory for the key, right? When we are going to display with for each. So now save. We have to deploy this. And after deploying, this is the child component. We need to call it by this child component into the parent component. This is the our parent component. In this parent component, I am calling the our child component. So here contact related cases table. So now we are passing to the here our case data to the parent to child. How we are going to pass it? This is our data, right? Case result. This case result we are passing to the case data equals to case result. So now here we are passing to the parent to child. Now let's see here it is showing the something error. Why? Because so we are the properties defined. Actually, we property defined here, but it is showing an error. Why? Because means it is unable to read the attribute name. See here, I think so. Okay. So here D is the capital, right? So save. So that's why here it is showing an error. Now we have to let's deploy this one. So now come to the here we have the refresh by the page. So I'm going to select by the particular contact, but here not showing the any related cases. Let's see cases is available or not for this contact. Contacts. So case so is the this is the case name. Sorry, contact name. This one, right? We have selected by the here. So let's see. Actually, we have the two cases, but these two cases not populated. Actually, we need to display by the case numbers, but it is not populated by these case numbers. So here problem is this is the case data we have defined property, but here this property is not defined as a at the rate AP. It is the local property, right? It is the local property. That's why it is unable to read the in the parent, unable to read the in the parent. Let's see now I am make it as it is the at the rate API. So when we are giving the at the rate API decorator, it is the global or public. So it is the public. Then we can pass it by the, from the parent to child. When we want to pass the data from the parent to child, we can must and should give to the at the rate API. Then only we can able to pass it to the parent to child and the child also will receive the data. So now see we have to deploy this. Refresh. Still also not appear. So we can see what is the problem. So cases. So here case data, case rec. Okay, sorry, case number. This is the we have to give it. So let's deploy. Case number, right? We have to display by the case number. So now let's refresh. See here, case numbers is the populated. Case numbers is the populated, but we have to display by line, right? So we have to give it by the break here. So break is not supported to the here. Let's try this here. Save. Okay. Now here we have save. And earlier also we have right. We are not given to the API. Let's see if I remove the API again, it will display or not. So here we have to display by the case number. Let's see it is the displaying or not. Okay. So now here. So now see here when we are not mentioned by the at the rate API, it is not displayed now. So we can add it by the at the rate API, means we can pass it to the data from child to parent, parent to child. So then we can use it by the at the rate API, then able to pass it. Now we have the deploy this one, refresh the page. See here, we have the displayed by the two case numbers. We can display by the on the top is the case number. So how we are going to display that is case number in the top. So here instead of this, we can display by the strong. Here is the case number. We have to close it, save and deploy. On top, we are unable to identify what is this. So we have to display by the some format. So now let's come to the here. We have the refresh by the page. See here, it is populating the data, right? We can align to this is. So here also we can give it by the one break. Then it will come by the appear by the next screen. Okay, next line. So now let's refresh. See here, it is displayed by the case numbers. Now, once we click on to which case, that case ID, we need to hold it right. The respect of that case record ID, we need to display here, and displayed by the side is the, we have the case details. We have to display by the case details by this side. So how we are going to, that is, so how to identify which one we are click. So here we have to take it by the on click. We need to call it by the one method that is called the handle click, and we have to which record right. We are click the which case number we click. So that purpose we have to take it by the name. So here we have to hold by the case record dot id. Save. Now come to the in JS, we have to define the one method in this JS. So here we have to hold by the what we have the selected value. So that's why here handle click. So event. So here we have to take it by the constant selected case ID equals to event to dot target dot. So name, that is nothing but what is written by the name here. That is the record ID. What we have here taken by the name, nothing but the here we have to hold by the that particular case record ID. So now here we have to in our hand is the case record ID. Now how we are going to pass it to the this case record ID into the parent. So how we are going to pass it to the this case record ID into the parent with the help of the custom events. So custom events we have to pass it to the from the child to parent. So that's why here we have to the taken by the one custom event. So constant custom event equals to we have the new custom events. See here, and here we have to pass it by the what we our data. So here we can give it by the one name of the this event. So here case selected ID. So this is the we are passing to the case is selected ID, that is we are given. So same name we need to give it by in the parent object also. Be careful to give it by the here. This name same we need to hold it by the in the parent object also. So that's why here we can give it by the better to all the small letters. So selected ID. So now here we have to pass it by the data. Which data we have to pass it? Selected case ID. Now we have to dispatch by this event. So this should dot dispatch event. This is the standard syntax. So what is the our event here? Custom event. This is the our event. So when we clicked on this, we have to hold it by the selected case ID. Then after we have to pass it to the our selected ID to the parent record. Parent record. So we are communicating to like the child to parent. How we are going to communicating means we have to define the one custom event. That custom event we can pass to the what the required data from the child to parent. Here, how the required data is the case ID. We are passing to the from the child to parent. From the child to parent. Okay. Now let's see how we are going to capture by the this case record ID in the parent component. Now let's see how we are going to capture the or get it by the selected case ID in the parent component. Let's check in the next video. Stay tuned.